trimmings, everybody photographed them cutting the cake. But now, whenever they cut a cake, any cake of any sort, people still appear from nowhere and photograph them. What happened to you? My cake-cutting hell. That's Zunith Kilroy.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
So that was Jack Charlton then, and don't forget, you can win Jack Charlton's World Cup winning shirt. That's the actual shirt that Jack Charlton wore in the 1966 World Cup final against West Germany by answering this one simple question. Here it is again. What is the name of Jack Charlton's famous footballing brother?
Is it A, Bobby?
B, Suzanne?
Or C, the Mississippi?
That's quite a good one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually.
Yeah.
Do you think it's been washed?
What?
His shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd think if you wanted the actual shirt that he'd worn, you'd still want the sweat on it, wouldn't you?
I don't know. That's a good point, actually. Give us a call. Let us know. If you were after Jack Charlton's World Cup winning shirt or I don't know, Madonna's dress from Evita...
What?
Well, it's just an example. Would you want it to have been washed, or would you want it still to smell of that celebrity? It's a good point. Let us know. Give us a call.
Yeah, or you could email us.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, anybody who sends us an email on this, they can get Jude's trousers from today's show. Washed or unwashed, you choose. This is a good point. I want to know. You brought it up. OK, back after this.
Now, this is a very quick and easy dish. Baked salmon with wild mushrooms and onions. And I have here chopped onions, spring onions, summer onions, some aren't onions, wild mushrooms, tame mushrooms, and some pepper to taste. You pop the lid on. That. And there we have it. So quick and easy. Look at that, scrummy. Absolutely scrummy.
Cut. Nigella, I think we caught a bit of the wand in shot.
Did we? Oh, look, I'm so sorry. Sorry. We'll go again, shall we?
It's only the first day of the Queen's visit to Canada, but already there's been a major diplomatic incident. The BBC's royal correspondent, Jenny Bond, has more on this. Jenny, what exactly happened?
Well, Hugh, you may remember that several years ago there was great controversy when the Australian Prime Minister clearly touched the Queen's person. And on this occasion, I'm afraid, it was the Canadian Foreign Minister who visibly rubbed or frotted the Queen's person.
Whereabouts on her person, Jenny?
He rubbed her left arm, which is a severe breach of protocol, which demands that the Queen may only be rubbed on her right arm by any ministers of state born in Quebec.
So, presumably, some diplomatic process will now swing into action.
Yes, indeed, Hugh. Protocol demands now that the Canadian Foreign Minister must shave his head and give the Queen a pig.
Really?
This is what happened the last time this occurred.
And when was that?
1456.
And how has the Queen reacted to all this?
Well, I think it's fair to say, Hugh, she was displeased in so much as she floored the Canadian Foreign Minister with a dazzling right hook. This in itself was a severe breach of protocol, which demands that any monarch uses a left uppercut to deal with any French-speaking gropers.
No, it's normally the Duke of Edinburgh who we associate with this kind of royal gaffe, isn't it?
Yes, Hugh, but he himself was guilty of a severe breach of protocol when he inserted his...
Yeah, Jenny Bond, thank you very much.
Now that you've got it all prepared, all you do is click your heels together 3 times, wave the wand over it while reciting the word of the wood nymph.
Nigella, it's gas mark 4 for 40 minutes.
I'm so sorry. I just totally forgot. Sorry.
Cold, isn't it?
You have a remarkable talent for stating the obvious.
I'm Alan. Alan Davis.
Congratulations.
And you are?
I'm Beth. And I'm a Davis too, but I don't have an E. Do you?
It's amazing what you can get down Canal Street this time of night.
Do you have a light?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Somewhere. Oh, yeah. Here we are. Where you been, then?
Around. And you? Have you been out?
Out? Oh, yeah, I've been out. To a club.
A club.
Yeah.
How terribly gay.
Yeah, I suppose it was. You know, I always wonder whose sick idea it was to make the light on top of taxis exactly the same colour as the light in street lamps.
I know. In the distance, every car looks as if it has an orange taxi light on top of it.
That's it. And you spend the whole night going, oh, it's a taxi. Oh, no, it's not. It's a taxi. Oh, no, it's not.
It's a taxi.
Oh, no, it's not. Yeah.
No, it is a taxi.
Okay. Right. Well, you have it. Thanks.
You're a sweet little hyena, aren't you?
Maybe we could meet up sometime. Go out and paint the town red.
No shades of grey.
Whatever.
Call me.
Right.
So, are you going to call her?
I don't know, Marilyn.
Does she know that you're in colour?
Is it that obvious? It is, isn't it?
You know what? Maybe you're technicolor like poor old Doris Day.
No. I've always been in full colour. It's the way you're born, isn't it?
You've never been tempted by anyone before in black and white?
No.
Is she more beautiful than I am?
Well, no, it's just that she's got Betty Davis eyes.
I see.
And I think we can now join the England manager, who's talking to Garth Crooks.
Sven Goran Eriksson. 3 names, 1 job. 4 years, 2 cups. 5 minutes, 0 tolerance. Does it all add up?
You're asking if my job has too much pressure?
Yes.
No, not really.
OK. Different folks, different strokes. Here are the keys to the castle. The form book goes out of the window. It hits an old lady on the shoulder. That old lady is Sven Goran Eriksson. Do you press charges?
I'm sorry, I have to go now.
Garth Crooks putting the questions there.
Hey, Phoebes, have you seen the scripts for the new series?
Oh, yay!
Well, don't you think they're getting a teensy bit desperate for episode titles?
Oh, yeah. There's the one where the clairvoyant tells you that one rainy day you'll be buying fruit from a market stall and you'll find a glass slipper.
Yeah, and what's that called?
Oh, the one where the fortune teller sees Ross Geller at the fruit cellar under an umbrella with Cinderella.
Yeah, now that is bad. Almost as bad as the Halloween special where you go ghost hunting with Barry Morris and Robin Gibb.
You mean the one where Phoebe and the Bee Gees get the heebie-jeebies?
Then there's the one where my sister and her friend play blues in a garden center.
Oh, yeah, I hate that one.
The one where Monica and Veronica play harmonica amid the japonica.
Yeah.
But I do quite like the one where they've made a whole episode out of bits from series 1.
Oh, yeah, what is that called?
The one where Chandler looks healthy.
Yeah.
It was nice, wasn't it?
Exquisite.
I was going to suggest we went for an Indian, but I thought, no, I wanted us to have a proper 3-course meal, you know, with pudding.
No.
Because you know what it's like. You go to an Indian and they have this huge choice of starters, great long lists of mains, then you ask them for pudding and it's like, oh, well, I suppose we could show you some pictures of some ice creams. What's all that about?
Now, we need to talk.
Yeah?
You're in colour, aren't you?
How long have you known?
As soon as I set eyes on you.
What gave it away?
The way you dressed, the way you moved and spoke. Everything about you screamed colour.
I was just drawn to you. I kept thinking this isn't right. It's not right, but I just...
I love you, you curly little fool.
I thought I might find you here.
Jimmy, what do you think you're doing?
What do I think I'm doing? Why, we're barely through, and already you're making love with someone else now?
So what if I am?
Yeah. So what if she is?
Say, wait a minute there, feller. Are you in colour?
Oh, Jimmy, we're through, and you know it.
Your girlfriend fancies someone who's in colour, and you can't handle it, can you? You know why? Because you're not sure about yourself, are you, big shot?
What do you mean?
Well, I know you're Technicolor sometimes. I saw you just the other day in Vertigo, and everyone talks about you in your rear window.
Oh, Alan, I'm sorry.
Morning.
Oh, my goodness. What happened to your face?
There was a fight.
She hits good.
James Stewart turned up. It's all over.
I can't say I'm sorry.
Thanks.
It's just that I thought that if you would love anyone who was black and white, it would be me.
Oh, come on. You're not always black and white yourself.
Well, it's true I swing both ways. But you always seem so completely in color.
I know. It's been a shock. A real shock. But worse than that, I think I fancy Miss Pickford in Year 8.
Oh, Alan, you can't. She's silent. Oh, Alan. My poor darling.
Tonight we'll also have a location report on the new Mike Leigh film, which is being shot in and around North London. Of course, you know what that means. It means when you go and see it, there'll be a couple behind you going, oh, look, that's the bottom of Haverstock Street. Oh, that's that restaurant. There's that post box. We use that box. Why do they do it? We all do it, friends. Just because it's on screen, it's more exciting. It's never that exciting normally, though, is it? Just as well, I'd say. Otherwise, we'd all be walking down the street going, oh, look, there's that lamppost I walk past every day. Ah, it's that petrol station. Ah, it's that newsagents. You see, friends, beware. They're very dull things, but just because they're on screen, they're deemed interesting. A bit like Nick Berry.
Parmesan salad. Thanks.
Adam.
Rachel.
Do you remember when we first started going out together and the waitress used to have to come back 6 times before we were ready to order?
Aye. It was like, we can't order yet. We're so in love, we haven't even had time to look at the menu yet. Could you come back in about a week?
Yeah, and now we just come in silently, sit silently, and after we've ordered, we've still got nothing to say.
Aye. Well, it's just one of those weird relationship things, isn't it? Like Sundays, you know? You start off wanting a day to go on forever. And then one day you wake up and women just want to go for long walks and men just want to lie in bed scratching.
Yeah, or reading those silly lists and numbers in the sports pages.
Excuse me, Rachel, those silly lists and numbers are very important to me. I need to know there were only 400 people at Brecon City's game against Stenhousemuir.
Why, Adam?
Because if there were 4,000, I'd know it was some evil portent and the world was about to end.
Well, it drives me mad.
Well, you drive me mad.
I can't believe you just said that, Adam.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I love you, Rachel.
I love you too, Adam.
Hi, I'm Nicky Campbell. 2 miles. Welcome to Watchdog. Lots to get through. Now, we've had a lot of calls and emails this week about cinemas. Kate.
Thanks, Nicky. Well, it does seem that a lot
Too
of
slow. You like films, but you don't like cinemas. You find them dirty and characterless, especially multiplexes, and if you don't, you should. Now, Rachel Court, you run a multiplex cinema in Wakefield, don't you?
Yes, that's right, Nicky, thank you.
So what is the point of you, Rachel? Eh? Come on, your cinemas are rubbish. I go to a cinema like yours nowadays, and for the first hour, I've got 40 people scrunching popcorn in my ear.
Well, I think that's a bit of an exaggeration.
No, but why do you sell popcorn, Rachel? I mean, why sell one of the noisiest foods where people most want a bit of quiet?
Popcorn is
In
sadly
fact,
a
why do you
noisy...
sell it at all? Why not just tip it onto the floor straight away? Cut out the middleman.
Well, we make every effort to have our cinemas
There's
checked
digital
regularly.
watches going off, people taking calls on mobile phones, Italians talking loudly. And incidentally, Giovanni, just because we can't understand what you're saying doesn't mean we can't hear you, right?
Nicky, we live in a multicultural society.
Yeah, never mind that. I just want to sit in a cinema, Rachel, without the girl next to me, spending the death scene chasing the last drops of a watery Diet Coke round the bottom of an oversized paper cup.
The drinks we sell.
I want proper quadraphonic sound, Rachel Court. That means 4 speakers, all right? Not the sound from 3 other films coming in through the walls as well. I want nobody coming in late, nobody leaving early, nobody smelling a little bit odd.
Let me just...
I want to live in the 1950s when people were decent and well-mannered and considerate. When if you smiled at somebody, they smiled back and didn't say, "What are you looking at?" When things worked properly and happily and no one made excuses and nobody told lies and there was no need for stupid programmes like this. Is that too much to ask, Rachel Court? Is it? It's been great talking to you. Thanks for coming in.
A lot of emails on this, Nicky. Tom from Macclesfield says, I agree. Peter from Fleet says, I disagree. Mary from Shipton says, I like Nicky's tie. While Kim from Lewis says, the world's forests are being systematically decimated to provide unnecessary packaging for consumer goods. Why don't you ever talk about things that really matter?
Shut it! See Standards is next. See you next week.
Here's one for you. How come all women know how to do that turban thing with towels?
What do you mean?
Well, you know that way where you wash your hair and then you just put the towel up into a wee turban? Is that innate? Or do you have, like, special lessons after school or something?
It's quite simple, really, Adam.
Well, so is hanging up the towel when it's no longer a turban.
I hang my towel up.
I've never met one woman who knows how to hang up a wet towel, or a woman who thinks that if she's getting up first in the morning, she'll get up quietly so that her love can sleep on.
What do you mean? I'm quiet in the mornings.
I don't think so. You stomp about. You've got the radio on, the light on, the hairdryer on.
I can't believe you just said that to me, Adam.
Sorry.
OK.
I love you, Rachel.
I love you too, Adam.
Sven, goals conceded in recent games, several. Goals conceded today, none. Statistics tell a story. Some stories have happy endings. It's the last chapter. Are you saying, Mummy, read me another?
Do you mean, are we defending better?
Yes.
Yes.
OK. Sol Campbell, physical presence, strength is his strength. These boots are made for tackling. Pay and display, mine's a shandy. How does he get the fox and the chicken to the island in 3 trips?
I cannot understand what you're saying.
Garth Crooks, put in the questions. There.
Yeah, what's the matter, Gil?
It's the brewery. They were meant to call about a delivery. I've been waiting for 3 hours.
Oh, I see. So, whatever important phone call are you really waiting for?
None. I just want the brewery to ring, that's all.
Well, everybody knows the brewery only rings when you're waiting for a really important phone call.
Do they?
Yeah. Everyone stood round the phone, it's really tense, and then it rings and you pick it up all anxious and it turns out to be the brewery calling about a delivery.
So if I actually did want the brewery to ring...
Then you got to be waiting for another important phone call.
Why, yes. Yes, of course. I'm waiting for the results of the tests on my face. My face tests. Oh, yes, I'm very anxious about my face test results. And what if my face is... Hello? It's the brewery. Can you phone back later, please? I'm waiting for a very important call. That wasn't right, was it?
Anyway, what about women in the magazine thing, eh? How annoying is that?
What?
You know, the flicking.
Oh, the flicking.
Aye, that innate feminine ability to flick through a magazine while looking straight ahead and talking all at the same time. You know, I sometimes think if a woman died reading a magazine, she'd carry on flicking through it for a good 5 minutes afterwards.
I can't believe you just said that, Adam.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
OK.
I love you, Rachel.
too, madam.
Next week sees the release of a new film from veteran director Michael Winner. I caught up with Michael earlier this week. So, Michael, it's great to meet you.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Jonathan, dear boy.
Now, in your long and distinguished career, you've worked with some of the biggest names in the world of film, including Burt Lancaster, for one of my favourite actors, in Lawman and in Scorpio. What memories do you have of Burt Lancaster?
Well, I remember being in Mexico and going out for a meal with Bert and his lovely wife. And I had roast guinea fowl to start with, and it came with an unbearable entourage of wood-roasted potatoes. But it was followed by the most delicious halibut. And then I had creme brulee, cheeses of the world, coffee, and liqueur chocolates.
Right, yeah. But what was it that Burt Lancaster did or said during this meal that made it such a special cinematic memory for you?
I've no idea. No, I scarcely looked up from my plate. But I do remember that Bert's wife was a little disappointed with her egg white truffle omelette.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, now, you also worked with a legendary Orson Welles in 1967, I believe, in the oft-forgotten I'll Never Forget What's His Name. But how was that, working with a great man himself, Orson Welles?
Well, my main memory of Orson Welles is pasta. He was a dear, lovely man, but his pasta was terrible. And he'd make this terrible carbonara and serve it with this cheap vinegary wine.
Yeah, that's great, Michael. But what about the films, eh? Making the films.
Oh, yes, I think we made a film. There's somewhere between the braised lamb and the port.
Yeah, great times all, I'm sure, Michael. But what would you say was your lasting memory of the film industry at that particular time?
The puddings, without a doubt.
Well, now, you've got a new film coming out very soon, and Sting is in that, I believe.
Yes, Sting plays a cat burglar.
Really?
Yes, a cat burglar who gets trapped in the most enormous chocolate souffle. So Ben Kingsley has to try and dig him out of it. But the only problem is, I keep accidentally eating the set.
Michael Winner, it's been great talking to you. Thanks very much indeed. Good luck with a new film. And it's wonderful to know that the thrill of making movies still gets you out of bed in the morning.
Well, that and a complex system of levers and pulleys.
You know, one British tradition I've never understood is bonfire night. Not only is it a weird thing to celebrate, but what concerns me is that firework night is the perfect time for some sort of revolutionary activity, isn't it? I mean, all those bangs, it's the perfect disguise. Which is probably what Guy Fawkes was thinking. Hey, here's a plan. Let's blow up the Houses of Parliament. But when? November the 5th. Bonfire night. I mean, all the bangs, it's a perfect disguise. But it backfired on him, as I'm sure you all know. Because as the rebels walked through St. James's Park, they all thought, wow, look at those. What shall we do? Overthrow the government or watch the pretty fireworks? They watched the pretty fireworks. Only 5 people turned up at Westminster. The guards easily surrounded them. And Guy Fawkes did his best to run away, but then found his legs were just made out of old newspapers and a pair of corduroy trousers.
Welcome back.
Yep, welcome back.
And in a couple of minutes, we'll be talking to some anti-fox hunting campaigners, won't we?
That's right. And actually, I was talking to you about this at the weekend, wasn't I, when we were in the countryside? Do you remember?
Well, I remember being in the countryside. But...
Yeah, well, I was saying then, wasn't I, that I can see a way to keep both sides happy in this, you know, both pro and anti-fox hunting people.
Oh, how? How would you do that?
Clay fox hunting.
Clay fox hunting.
Yeah, you see, all the hunters and the horses, right, they'd meet up, yeah? Someone would shout, pull, and out would come a clay fox, yeah? They'd all chase after it for a bit, and everyone's happy. No blood, no fur, no marches.
That is a ridiculous idea.
Fine, you can say that, but it works with clay pigeons, doesn't it? Hmm? And that's a point, actually. Who makes them? Because they never look like pigeons, do they?
No, that's right. Well, they're more of a discus shape, aren't
Exactly,
they?
yeah. I mean, you'd think you'd make the effort, wouldn't you?
Well, I suppose it wouldn't work if they were bird-shaped, because they wouldn't be able to...
No. Tell you what, if you know who makes those clay pigeons, give us a call. Better still, give him a call and tell him they're rubbish. Yeah, and ask him if he's going to make clay foxes. And if he is, are they actually going to look like foxes this time, or are they just going to look like his rubbishy pigeons, but a bit bigger? And let us know how you get on. I'd be interested to know that. OK, we'll be back in, what, a minute and 40 seconds on the break.
It's all part of the rough and tumble, but the card count speaks volumes. When Gerrard sees yellow, FIFA sees red. The future looks black. Blue? You ask if Tim is too aggressive? Yes. No. OK. A goat has its hoof trapped on a level crossing. A calf, disorientated, cannot escape from a nearby burning barn. Which do you rescue first? Who are you?
Miss Jones.
Zita Jones.
Zita Jones, yes, of course. Oh, my, you do look beautiful this evening, Miss Jones.
Why, thank you, Mr. Rigsby.
And I'm glad I caught you, Catherine, because I was wondering if you'd do me the honour of stepping out with me this evening, Miss Jones.
Stepping out with you, Mr. Rigsby.
Oh, yes, Miss Jones, a very special occasion, you see, yes. The Rotary Club are having a barn dance at the Dog and Duck, and followed by a few pork balls at the Shanghai Cabin. I thought perhaps we could stroll down there together, Miss Jones.
Well, that is very nice of you, Mr. Rigsby, but I'm afraid I can't.
Oh, nonsense, Miss Jones, it's all on me.
No, I'm afraid that I
thought it'd make a nice change for you from those dull Hollywood parties that you're used to. Eh? What do you say? Quick splash of the old high karate team will be off, eh?
Mr. Rigsby, I have a prior engagement.
Perhaps I could really push the boat out and crack open a bottle of Blue Nun, Miss Jones, before we prior engagement, Miss Jones.
Yes, I'm attending a premiere in the West End in the presence of Prince Charles, followed by dinner at the Ivy, then a private ball at the Grosvenor House, where the guests will include Steven Spielberg, Robert De Niro, and the Aga Khan.
Steven Spielberg. Well, perhaps we could just squeeze in a short game of darts at the Coach and Horses before we... Oh.
Ah, that'll be my limousine.
Right, well, you go, Miss Jones. Yes, of course. You go and sip Bollinger with the Aga Khan and pretend you're interested in racehorses.
Good night, Mr. Rigsby.
Yes, good night, Miss Jones. My God, did it make you sick, eh? I could have been a Hollywood actor. I could have been up there with the rest of them premieres, parties, dancing cheek to cheek with Russell Crowe. Oh, Miss Jones.
Mr. Rigsby.
Yeah, I suppose you forgot your rap, Miss Jones.
Mr. Rigsby, I've changed my mind.
There we are, Miss Jones. You go. Go and dance the night away. Go and laugh at some producers' unfunny jokes and try and pretend that you change your mind, Miss Jones.
Take me to the Dog and Duck. I want to drink 6 pints of cider. I want to do the knees up at the Rotary Club. And then...
Yes, Miss Jones.
I want to have those pork balls.
I'll go and add my best. Right.
It needed a boost, and today the Welsh film industry finally got that when it was announced that a small-scale follow-up to one of last year's most talked-about films would be set and shot in the Principality. This time it won't feature Nicolas Cage or Penelope Cruz, but hopes for the film Captain Carethli's Mandolin Hai, even though no star names are yet in place. Hope my agent's watching this. Guide me, oh, thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but thou art mighty. Hold me with thy powerful hand. Bread of heaven, bread of heaven, feed me now and evermore, evermore. Feed me now and evermore. And now the weather with Isabel.